This is... Oh, my God. Sweet buttery Jesus. Vlade Strikic.
You don't wait for me, 'cause I keep breathing fire. I won't wait for you, 'cause you keep telling lies. I keep going high, she keep going low. At the end of the day, she's gone. But you don't wait for me, 'cause I keep breathing fire. And you keep telling lies.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Outcasts to Icons with me, a very optimistic man. If you've enjoyed the series up to this point, of course, do drop a like on the video. Helps out the channel tremendously, particularly with these early season episodes, I find, for whatever reason. So, here we are. GNK, DINAMO, ZAGREB in Croatia. Oh, it's a lovely place to be. I've heard it's a gorgeous area. But since I was unable to do a video at the start of the week, I wanted to thank new patrons in this one. And this week is Daniel Naylor, so thank you very much, mate. That's super, super nice. And everybody else over there supporting this series, thank you. It's very nice of you. Right, of course, before we jump into things properly, we're going to look at the squad. We're going to do the youth intake-like preview, which I'm very excited about, look through the team, and of course, play our first game in charge. We've got a little gap before as well, which would be nice to embed some ideas and get some things going. But first, a couple of little things we want to just quickly talk about before we jump into that. So, it is, of course, the start of Euro 2020 tonight. Turkey versus Italy. And if you want to be the person to stay on top of all the action across the Euros this summer, then hey, OneFootball is the app for you. They'll have all the latest team news for every team competing in the Euros this summer. You can get live score updates for every game taking place in the entire competition, which is very helpful if, like me, you're playing Euro Fantasy and want to make sure you keep on track of all the players that you have in your team. So when the final whistle blows in the final game of the tournament, your phone will say, England 17, someone else nothing, and it's coming home. So once again, a massive thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring this video, and of course, you can download the app for free with the link in the description. The first of which is the obvious, well, I say obvious, somewhat obvious elephant in the room, is that, well, firstly, the game literally says right here, UEFA Europa League. Now, this is a bit of a grey area, essentially. So let me explain. Basically, Dinamo Zagreb won something called the Intercity Spheres Cup in, I believe, the 1960s, which was a sort of predecessor to the Europa League, but it was not a UEFA schedule, like, it wasn't like a UEFA sanctioned competition, but the Europa League kind of just picked up where it left off when it was actually finally brought into the UEFA fold and whatnot, and that's why the game obviously considers it like that. Now, it wasn't on the list, as we had the UEFA Cup starting from 1971, which is why Zagreb weren't on the list. Now, were I to have been aware of that, maybe I would have been a little bit hesitant to have taken the job, but at the end of the day, we built it on a set criteria about UEFA competitions, and that's how it is, quite simply. It's not something I'm going to lose sleep over, and I'm quite happy to be here. And the second thing is sort of with relation to the sort of the tactical style that we've been using in the save so far. There's always this seemingly clamour every time we sort of either lose a game or move club to rip up the tactics book and try to build something new from scratch. And that's not something I really like to do because, one, I quite like adapting new clubs to the style of play I like to do, and sometimes I like to do the opposite as well and adapt to the club itself. And I might well do that here just because we've got a sort of tactical incubator in this league where we could actually try to make something a little bit more fancy because, you know, we need more fanciness. That said, at a club like Zagreb, as I said, I wouldn't mind trying to get some really nice football out there. Some of that style of play that we've seen a little bit with the tactic we've been playing so far, that lovely little, almost like tiki-taka style, really quick, fast-paced, short passing, high tempo, that sort of stuff. Maybe with a bit more of an aggressive press, because I think that's one of the things we weren't really doing very well. But now we've got better players, we might be able to get away with doing that a little bit more. And I'd quite like to see if we can play some beautiful football. Because, hey, football's supposed to be fun, and so's FM. So, since I realised that some of you obviously would not have seen last night's video, potentially, because sometimes you maybe jump straight into the new club video. So I just want to quickly show you the way the league is sort of standing right now. Obviously, the club were in a great position when we took over, because their previous manager left and went to go to... Who did he go to? It was Espanyol, wasn't it? Who, hilariously, we couldn't have managed anyway, of course. But then left us in a relatively comfortable position, it's fair to say. Now, should we win the title this year? It's not really that much of an achievement because all the work's been done for us. I will consider that, the game will consider that a title win for us. But for me, it's a massive asterisk and I want to win one properly. But I really do feel like at a club like Dinamo Zagreb, there's a nice springboard for us to have a go. I mean, maybe we could get to the Champions League group stages. They've done it on my other saves without me in charge, so it seems doable. Great youth players they've got. But Europa League, Europa Conference League as well, there's definitely a chance that we could take these guys into Europe and have a bit of fun. I'm just looking forward to doing some European management, to be honest. Just a bit of a refresh to sort of recover from our misfortunes, I suppose, at Osasuna. Right, without further ado, let's take a look at the actual current squad, and then we'll go and look at that youth intake preview as well. So squad-wise, oh, hello. Yeah, oh, wow, okay. Holy mother. Okay, well, they've got a guy that's got 15 goals already this season. This bodes well. He is 30, though. Let's see. How old are the squad? I mean, look at this. Look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, excitement intensifies, friends. Right, we'll sort my ability for now, and we'll see what pops up. So I want to look at Vlade Strikic, who... Oh, he's 20, not 30. I'm an idiot. He's 20. Oh, I was looking at his appearances. This is... Oh, my God. Sweet buttery Jesus. Vlade Strikic. Sorry. Grown man's about to cry in front of you all. He is... Where is he on my Tromsø save? He's better than some of the strikers I've got on that save, and I've won the Bastard Champions League. Holy crap. Okay, so, yeah, firstly, he's wanted. Shocker. I guess the best thing to do would be to try and keep him through January. Please don't tell me he's got a release 30.5. But he's got what we call on stream a boat clause, which means survival is a potential, maybe for one transfer window. Oh, wow, he's so... Look at this. I'm sorry. I can't believe how good he is. Passing's 10. Just get rid of him. Get rid of him. We've also, of course, got Campbell, former Wolverhampton Wanderers Campbell, though he hasn't actually played for Wolves at any point in this save. I met Salah on attack as a default role. Oh my goody aunt. So one of the things I was thinking about doing was just like a standard 4-2-3-1 with an actual pushed up right-hand side and a bit more of a traditional role. Or maybe having like a 4-3-3 style with like a DM, but as a playmaker. Because I want to try out deep line playmakers again, but in an actual defensive midfield role instead of pushing them into the centre of midfield, because I just don't like them there. They've been crap this year for me. Also have Tony Mihailovich, who is another central midfielder, although he can play up here as well. Finishing is only 9, so we have to be careful there, but great vision and passing. Really, really good. Rocco Simic, who is another striker and actually is a natural pressing forward. Very useful to know, because it does give us that flexibility. Should Strikic come off and we feel like we need to change tack, we could actually switch over to a slightly different style, or our current style, if that's now the secondary, with an actual pressing forward, who's 6'2", finishing composure fine, great physicals. Thomas Basila, who is formerly of Nantes and Man United as well, interestingly. Centre-back, 6'2", beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, aggression's a little low, don't even matter that much. He can even pass the ball, which is perfect if we do want to start playing a more passing style of play, like really heavily focused on short, quick passing. That really help us. Beautiful stuff. And don't worry, I will run the Z-gens over the faces so we get new faces for the regen lads. Yep, I know. Now, I'll be honest, I actually saw this when I was making the intro for this video because I looked at the match briefly. Matty Longstaff is here as well. He's got great mentals, lacks a little bit in some of the physicals, but actually, he's still a really solid midfielder, quite simply. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. He's just a solid midfielder. Oh yeah, and Ezri Konsa's here too. We get to have a back pairing of Ezri Konsa and Thomas Basila. He's the club captain. Ezri Bastard Konsa is here. Come on. Ivica Hodats as well. Oh my goodness me. We've even got Ivica Hodats, or Hodak rather, keeping these guys in check, and he's only 18 years old. Like people said, good youth intake, good youth academy, but this is mental. Mihailovich Strok, left-sided player. Nice. Left side. Okay, so he's a winger. Interesting. Ramadan Sobi as well, whose position is... Yes. Jaden Candelaria as well, left back. He's actually really nice physicals. Not spectacular in the mentals, but like great, not mentals, sorry, in some of the technical stuff for the really go forward stuff. His off the ball is a bit concerning as well, but decent enough positioning. His tackling's fine. His marking's not amazing, but he's 6'2" as well, which is nice. I don't really need that for fullbacks, but it is nice to see, you know, to win those extra challenges, gives us a bit more aerial presence. Long flat throw, interesting. Swansea City legend Connor Roberts as well is here. 56 caps for Wales and a goal. Wow, look at the natural fitness. I mean, he may be 33, but he has lost very little in terms of his actual overall stuff because he's so good going forward. Look at that. And after that, it kind of goes into some of the younger players. So there's Dino Pavlish here, who is a, oh yes, defensive midfielder. Vision's not great though, but look at this. Oh, God knows what they've got in their youth academy right now. So let's go find out. Under 19s. Oh my Lord. Oh my. Juraj Bosancic as well is a striker with bloody freaking Nora. Pressing forward, okay. Although, honestly, I think he could do a bit more than that. Concentration's a little low, though, sadly. Any standouts in the second team? It just gets better and better. Look at this. Vahadin Smahic as well. Ball in midfielder, perfect. Playing time expectations, that's fine. Right, here we go. Youth intake. After all that, and it's that. I mean, it could still be good because we've got a good team, but this is a good group of players coming through. There's a lot of yellow in here that suggests otherwise, friends. But nevertheless, that's the situation right now. I think this squad is a very excellent team with some great young talent that I cannot wait to start using. Quite simply, it's going to be a great time. So what we're going to do, as things are right now, we've got a couple of friendlies in the way before our first actual league game in charge, which is away at Lokomotiva, our affiliate club, at the end of the month. Now, hopefully, when we return, I'll still have our main striker, because that would be shit if we didn't. It's a £30 million release clause. Actually, one sec. Finances. 34 million in the bank, 16 mil transfer budget. Oh, this team is going to be a blast to just do a slightly different style of management, try to just get them to play some gorgeous football. So, back in a sec. Right then, we're back. It's the day of our first game. A fair amount has happened in this little off-camera period, so I'm just going to kind of go through a couple of those things right now before we get into today's game against Lokomotiva. Not been a good season for Rudesh, it would seem. I am looking to see if we can maybe bring in a couple of signings, but obviously when you join in the middle of a transfer window nearly, it's hard to get stuff going straight away, so we'll probably look more towards the summer for that. But I do think we need another centre-back, and there's a reason for that, which I'll explain in a minute. The board have also let me do a coaching course straight off the bat. What a bunch of good lads. So we're going to hopefully get our Continental B license while we're here as well. What I might do at this point is limit that and not get another coaching badge while we're at Zagreb at all, even though we probably could, just to sort of, you know, keep the progress nice and smooth. So, I said I was going to try, hilariously, after saying that I wasn't too fond of changing tactics and that, I then go and actually do that, and I've just spent 2 hours watching Friendly. This is why I'm too obsessive like that, you see. The moment I start trying to do stuff like that, I'm just like, no, I'm going to watch every replay, I'm going to look at all the stats, and it's great and all, but obviously, time is a linear thing. But I'll just quickly show the schedule so I can take you through our 3 friendlies so far that we've actually played. So against Horsens, we actually came from behind in this game, hilariously, and I was still sort of working out. I put in like an idea of what I wanted to do, and then the idea in this game was that we'd slowly just sort of work our way in and kind of just figure out stuff on the fly, basically. And around about half time, I made some changes to it. And in fact, I might just be able to quickly show you now in terms of the XG. I mean, look. You see what I mean? Made a couple of little switcheroos, and it certainly made a little difference to us. Next, we played against Nordjylland, and it was a similar story, really. Just good, strong performance. But you'll notice they scored twice against us off of not a lot, and I felt that we were just giving too much space away at the back. So I made a couple of changes in the next game to maybe try and mitigate that a little bit as well. It's all a work in progress. Little by little, make the small changes. And then, obviously, we went out against Slogger, and it's 9-0. It was 9-0. We missed a penalty in this game, too. It could have been 10. Now, obviously, it's a lower league side, but it was just nice to see certain things start to work, and also start to reveal some potential holes in it, which was me playing Tony Mihailovich as an advanced playmaker in that attacking midfield role. In a game when your team has won 9-0 and you've played the full 90 minutes, the fact that he's only on a 6.8 suggests to me that something wasn't quite clicking with him in that role, or just the role in general combined with the rest of the team. What did we do tactically? Well, that's the question. So, essentially, very traditional looking 4-2-3-1. Not a lot of different roles, really, to what we were doing before. Honestly, the only real change for me so far that I've made in terms of the actual shape is obviously pushing the winger up to a more traditional role, and just leaving him on wing right now, and also having a winger on support on the left-hand side. Now, that's just because at the moment, Strock is a winger, left-footed, left-sided winger. We do have Sobby that can come and play there potentially if we want to play an inside forward there, and I'm not opposed to doing that either. And obviously, the other change here is an advanced playmaker in the midfield here instead, because obviously we're losing a bit of playmaking in the wide area, so I felt like we maybe should put it somewhere. But then also, I wouldn't be opposed to just shredding it and not actually having a designated playmaker in the squad at all. I've tried to get match fitness up. Most of this squad has played a lot, but you know how these things go. So attacking, just because we're going to be dominating possession in a lot of games with this style of play, and I want to try and be a bit more, I just want to be a bit more aggressive, have a bit of fun with it, you know? So a bit more instructions as well. We're working the ball into the box. We are playing through the middle, because I found out when we were against Horsens, we were working the wide areas quite nicely when I tried to play down the wings, but the problem was every chance was essentially just a cross that comes in, and most of the time they were just harmlessly headed over the crossbar, because that's FM21, and I felt we weren't getting enough out of that. Whereas I feel like if you play through the middle, as we found on Bolton, and particularly Spurs at the very start, you still get those wide opportunities, but you get more intricate stuff through the middle, which is what we're trying to do. Slightly shorter passing, which is fine. Dribble less because we want to play more passing play, although still might change that as well. I was originally on higher tempo, but again, when I turned that back down, I found that we were actually able to create a bit more opportunities. And I feel like in certain games where we're just completely dominating the ball but struggling to break teams down, that might be something I use as a toggle to try to really push things a little bit more. But I don't want to overdo it when we don't need to, I suppose. Defensively, in transitions, counter press, counter. Obviously, we're playing a high pressing approach, so that makes sense. We're doing distribute, same as that. We're distributing to roll it out this time. So this is something we were looking at for a while, where you'd have these set up, but your goalkeeper would still lump it long. Yeah, this is why. Because this only controls, really, I find, from like goal kick situations. This is when he's got it in his hands. And he will still lump it long if you don't. So having him roll it out basically means that he will just distribute to our defenders every single time he gets the ball, which is a really nice sign. And he's playing as a sweeper keeper on attack, because with a slightly higher line, that makes sense. So defensively, offside trap, but we have... Originally, I pushed it all the way up, but I found that it was just leaving too many gaps, even against weaker sides, and I didn't want to leave gaps because, you know, You want to be at least defensively stable a little bit. So we've just dropped it back one notch on either side. Prevent short goalkeeper distribution, of course. We're not getting stuck in because I don't want to overdo it on the yellow cards. And I feel like if we do that, we might just get too many unnecessary yellows. Subject to change. But hey, I had a bit of fun building that, and we'll have to see how we do when we get into a few league games with it. I think it's going to take a little while to bed in, but it's just nice coming into a squad that's already happy. That's amazing, isn't it? Coming into a squad that's already happy. So this isn't actually the lineup we might end up being the lineup. I don't know. So you'll notice Concert as a ball-winning midfielder. The reason this is happening right now is because our current ball-winning midfielder... I tried Matty Longstaff there initially. The problem is Longstaff has a PPM or a player trait that is really bad for a BWM. Basically, he gets forward whenever possible. I don't want that on my ball-winning midfielder. I want him to sit. And having someone like Concert there actually works out really nicely because he just sits there and pops balls around. He's very good in that role, surprisingly. But that does leave us a little bit short at the back, where, as you can see, with Hodak not back from full fitness yet, we're kind of struggling a little bit to fulfill that role with Jaden Candelaria having to play in there. Now, he can do the job, but I'd rather have him at left back. The wing back, the sort of the rest of the defense kind of just sorts itself out. Roberts is a shoe-in here. Wiles is playing because of Candelaria not being able to play. Mihailovich obviously is the first choice there. Campbell comes in nicely there, and it does give us some nice options off the bench potentially as well. Oh, actually, this is the really good sign. So Jellebear's played well nicely, but Rocco Simic, I really like him because I found that we were getting some of those back post headers, but Jellebear was missing every single one of them, whereas Simic scored one against Horsens, and he's got a bit more aerial presence, I think. 6'2", yeah. And once we get a few more players, but Dinko Pavlish as well. Like, there's a few players that I want to get back into the team that aren't quite ready yet. I know that was a bit of a ramble, but I just wanted to sort of talk you through. I feel like it's important with things like this that I explain at least why I'm doing it. Because at the end of the day, it's completely subjective a lot of the time, but at least I can hopefully explain why I'm doing the things I'm doing. Because I actually don't know how much... Oh, we got a 9-man bench. 9-man bench. Woo! Yeah, filthy. That's lovely. A 9-man bench is a dream of mine. I'd like to go to Italy. Italy, I love your benches. So, Zugai, actually, I might put him on the bench too instead of Ivanovic, just because Zugai scored a goal in the friendly as well off the bench. Having such a lead in the league as well is quite a nice... Obviously, it's a nice buffer, but it means that we can actually experiment with stuff like this. Oh, look at this. Yes, lads. I mean, just very excited. Lots of team leaders in this squad as well that seem to like me too. Oh, good tunnel interviews. Oh, it was only 2 questions. Well, fine. It was only 2 questions. First game in charge of the club. Let's do it. I just want to see... Oh, we got blue lines. Okay. Interesting. Maybe that's in my preferences settings. I don't know. So, what we're really looking for here is win the ball back quickly, build up the ball nicely, and find some chances. That's really it right now. In fact, we're the ones playing in white, aren't we? Not blue. Struck with the ball. Oh, okay. So much like in our friendlies. Oh, there's flares. That's awesome. Love that SI. Much like... Literally what I was saying pre to kickoff. We had that exact scenario 5-6 times in the last 2 games, maybe even more than that. And because Simic was on a slight injury, he couldn't play. And Jellebear was missing those every single time. Campbell picks out a gorgeous ball. Simic is there at the back post, and it's 1-0 to DINAMO ZAGREB inside 10 minutes. Oh, beautiful. If Simic can stay fit. It's a good ball for Buick, though. And, wow, okay, they've managed to break through us there as Nikolic comes up with a big save. Got to be careful, lads. We're only a goal up after all. And, well, now we're not a goal up anymore. Daniel Stefful just equalised for Lokomotiva. Oh, dear. And the flares go wild. Come on, lads, you're better than that. I might have to take a little look at the defensive free kick setups because, obviously, I made a brand new tactic from scratch and it hasn't got the exact same set pieces on it as our previous one. So that's a bit of an oversight on my part. So I'll have to take a little look at that and see if we can sharpen that side of things up a bit. Really strong start from us that just sort of faded away as the rest of the half went on. Simic. Roberts again, struggling to break them down. They do play a very defensive system against us so far. Constant with the ball in this time, and it was Strock at the far post getting on the end of it. He had barely any work to do, but just flicked that into the back of the net. Feels like we scored the same goal twice. It's just been opposite midfielders to the opposite wingers. Not how I expected us to be creating goals, but this is why you do friendlies, and then when you come into the bigger games, you start to notice different things. There's a great ball in from Ezri Konsa. Lovely little flicked header from Strock, and we're back in front. Good stuff. Schweitzer. There we go. Long ball downfield. Oh my god. Great save. Okay, 5 minutes to go. Winning the game, which is, at the end of the day, what really matters right now. Strikic, he's got it here. Can he get a little opportunity? Oh, pulls it across. Oh, well played. Cesar Gilabert off the bench for 3-1 to DINAMO. And Strikic, hey, he may not have got himself a goal there, but he has at least contributed a lovely little assist. I thought he was going to go for goal, particularly as he was on his favoured left foot. Really nice bit of work there. Just a little bit of simple stuff. Long throw over the top. The goalkeeper, well, the defender's done a terrible job, but I thought he was about to pull the shot away. Drives it across the box, comes off the defender in fairness, but Gilabert, great effort into the back of the net for 3-1. Good stuff. Okay, I was able to make 4 subs, so maybe they have more substitutions allowed. In the end, it's looking like a fairly comfortable victory here, 3-1. It's certainly not like a barnstorming win or anything like that, but it's a win. We scored 3 goals. We've looked okay defensively other than that. Whoa, it's now 4! Thomas Basia makes it 4-1, and all of a sudden the result's starting to look a little bit more rosy, but I don't think we've played well enough to deserve a 4-1 victory, but it's still good to know that the guys are capable of pulling results out like this, and that we've got a set-piece threat. Colin Roberts with a great ball in, Basila with a lovely header, and it is now 4-1, and it feels like we have sort of just picked up where they've left off, and that's great news. Really, really important to start. I was a bit worried, admittedly, when they equalised in this game, and we have shown a few little defensive shakiness, but I think that will sort of iron out as we get used to the style of play, as Gilabert wins the ball off of them, and it's 4-1 to DINAMO Zagreb. Good win in the end. 4-1's very harsh on them, but nevertheless, we've come out there with a good result, and the lads will be pleased with that. Colin Roberts was excellent today. He's done you proud, Welsh fans, and also, most importantly, you'll notice, we've still got Strikic. Nobody came in with an offer. Not one. We've had press conferences about the Roma and the Red Bull Salzburg managers, but no one's actually put a bid in, and that's very good news. So, next episode, we're going to start off against Osijek, who, of course, they turned us down for a job this season. Like, that's mad that they went, nah, you're not good enough, mate, and then we turn up at the Big Daddy. And then we'll probably... Ooh, actually, no. I feel like we have to do the Harjuk game. Surely that's a rivalry, right? Yes, it is. In fact, it's our fiercest rivals. Although, actually, the Osijek game is a rivalry as well. So we'll come back and do those games just so we get some nice rivalry games coming along to start things off. And then we'll start to really burn through some things. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, I really hope you have. I'm excited about this club. I think we can play some really nice football. And that's one of my aims for our time at Zagreb. So, yeah, if you've enjoyed it, drop a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That'd be stupendously good. I stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so go follow there too. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more adventures in Croatia. Thank you so much for watching. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.